Gunfights, outlaws, and daring gunslingers, the Wild West is a legendary chapter in American history. The thrilling adventures of cowboys and fearless lawmen of the Old West are the stuff of myths, and their epic endings often match the vivid imagination of their time. But not all heroes met their demise in the midst of gunfights or epic showdowns. Some, surprisingly ordinary and humble, fell prey to the harsh realities of life in the Wild West. In this captivating video, we're about to unravel the untold stories of 8 remarkable figures from the Wild West, shedding light on the very real and often unexpected ways in which their extraordinary lives came to an end. Get ready to journey through time and explore the final chapters of these Wild West legends. Let's dive into the lives of Wild West legends and uncover the extraordinary circumstances of their ends. But before we get rolling, don't forget to mosey on down and hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single thrilling chapter in our journey through history. First up is Bel Star, a woman whose reputation was more associated with outlaws than being an outlaw herself. She once served a 9-month jail term for horse theft, but never faced another conviction. However, she had a knack for surrounding herself with notorious figures, even marrying twice, and both her husbands met their fates in gunfights. After years of mingling with sinister characters, her past finally caught up with her. One fateful day, as she was journeying home, 2 bullets found their mark in her back, but the identity of her assailant remains a mystery. Whispers and rumors shrouded her passing, and in some retellings, her own son, Ed, played a role in the tragic event. Next, we have Jess James, a skilled outlaw whose notoriety attracted the attention of Missouri's governor, Thomas Crittenden. The governor made it his mission to bring down this infamous outlaw. Following a botched bank heist, Jess and his brother Frank went into hiding. Frank, however, decided to turn his life around, distancing himself from Jess's gang. This left Jesse in a difficult spot, and he needed new recruits whose loyalty was still up for grabs. Enter Bob Ford, whose brother Charlie had recently joined Jess's gang. When they learned of Governor Crittenden's tempting offer of a $10,000 reward for Jess James' capture, the Ford brothers struck a deal with the authorities, promising to deliver Jesse in exchange for the reward and a pardon. Months passed, and the Ford brothers settled in one of Jess's hideouts. During a tense moment, Jesse, unaware of the betrayal, casually removed his coat and revolvers. Seizing the opportunity, Bob Ford shot Jesse in the back of the head while he stood on a chair, innocently dusting a picture. It was a shocking and dramatic end for one of the Wild West's most infamous outlaws. Number 3. Butch Cassidy. You might picture Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid as dashing Hollywood stars, but the real Butch Cassidy and his partner, the Sundance Kid, had lives as thrilling as any movie. Cassidy's gang, known as the Wild Bunch, was known for robbing banks and making off with an average of $35,000 per heist. What made them nearly untouchable was Cassidy's careful planning before each robbery. After a long life of crime, Butch and the Sundance Kid decided to leave it all behind and start fresh in South America. They lived quietly until a fateful payroll robbery in Bolivia. The Bolivian cavalry surrounded their hideout, leading to a fierce shootout. By nightfall, 2 shots rang out, and the lifeless bodies of the men were found, both with gunshot wounds. The Sundance Kid had a bullet precisely between his eyes, and Cassidy had a self-inflicted wound on his temple. However, debate rages on to this day about whether these were truly the famous duo, as many accounts place Cassidy in the public eye for years to come. Number 4. Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid, the boy they called him, was anything but a kid. By the time he was 18, he had 17 killings to his name, all before he could even legally drink. Then, in a twist of fate, Sheriff Pat Garrett finally captured Billy and brought him in for trial. He was found guilty and sentenced to hang, but just before the hanging in 1881, Billy managed to slip away, leaving 2 guards dead in his escape. Sheriff Garrett pursued Billy relentlessly for 3 long months until he got a lead on his hideout. With Billy on the run, Garrett waited patiently in the shadows at Maxwell Ranch in New Mexico. When Billy walked in, Garrett's shot rang out, sealing the outlaw's fate. Like many tales of Wild West icons, Billy's demise spawned numerous legends, but was it really Billy or perhaps another young man who resembled the 21-year-old? Years later, two different individuals came forward, both claiming to be Billy the Kid, but their stories never stood up to scrutiny. Number 5. Buffalo Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill Cody became a household name in the late 1800s thanks to his famous traveling show, Buffalo Bill's Wild West. But on January 10, 1917, Cody's incredible journey came to an end due to kidney failure while he was visiting his sister in Denver. This date is significant because Cody's most recent will expressed his desire to be laid to rest atop Lookout Mountain in Colorado, offering breathtaking panoramic views. However, in January, the pathway to the mountain was blocked by snow, making it impossible to reach. To honor Cody's final wish, his body was preserved in cold storage for 6 months, requiring embalming 6 times. During this time, there was debate about whether he should be buried in Cody, Wyoming, the town he had founded, as per his previous will's instructions. In the end, the consensus is that Cody's final resting place is indeed Lookout Mountain. Yet some theories suggest his body might have been moved to Wyoming, sparking various conspiracy speculations. Interestingly, the former location of Olinger's mortuary, where Buffalo Bill Cody's body was kept for 6 months, has transformed into a dining establishment known as Linger. Number 6. Calamity Jane. Calamity Jane's nickname gives you a hint about her unconventional life. To survive, she sometimes dressed as a man, working for the Pony Express, and possibly in other occupations. As a part of Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, Jane became famous for her sharpshooting skills. But alongside her rising reputation, she developed a liking for strong drinks and revelry. In the end, her love for spirits took its toll, and she battled deep alcoholism for many years, ultimately passing away at the age of 51. According to the tale, she was laid to rest next to her companion and former drinking buddy, Wild Bill Hickok. Joining them for eternity, Hickok was rumored to have had little interest in Jane, making her burial both a final joke and a tribute to the famous markswoman. Number 7. Bat Masterson. Bat Masterson began his life as a gunfighter, but it was an encounter with Wyatt Earp that changed his path. Earp convinced Masterson that he had the qualities needed to bring order to the chaos of Dodge City, Kansas, especially since his 2 brothers were already serving as lawmen in the area. Masterson agreed. His time as sheriff was a mix of triumphs and sorrows. He even tragically witnessed his brother Ed getting shot and losing his life. When he reached the age of 49, Masterson grew weary of the unruly Wild West and yearned for a more peaceful life in the East with his wife. They relocated to New York City, where Masterson worked as a newspaper correspondent and a United States Marshal for several years. In 1921, at his writing desk, Masterson's life came to a close due to a heart attack. Number 8. Annie Oakley. Annie Oakley, celebrated for her incredible rifle skills, captured the hearts of people, young and old. She spent a significant part of her life with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. But before she became shooting star Annie Oakley, she was Annie Mosey, a 16-year-old with remarkable shooting talent. During a visit to her sister, Annie was challenged to a trap shooting contest by a seasoned display shooter, Frank Butler. The challenge was to hit as many out of 25 targets as possible. While Frank managed to hit 24, Annie impressively took down all 25. Frank was smitten, and they soon became husband and wife. They enjoyed nearly 5 decades of companionship until Oakley's health declined, and she succumbed to anemia. The exact cause of Butler's passing remains uncertain, but his death just 18 days after Oakley suggests a broken heart may have played a part. In a final embrace, the two were laid to rest side by side in the Oakley family burial ground.